your thoughts on these awards that really kind of left Texas Tech out of it.
So these are the coaches' picks and awards, correct?
I think so. Yeah, I think the coaches vote on this.
Okay, gotcha.
I don't know if anybody else has votes.
I think that's correct. I mean, the fact that the coaches picked Scott Drew over Mark Adams is mind-blowing to me when you're literally playing against a dude and for the first time he's putting your offense in pretzels and knots, and Scott Drew has one of the best teams in the country. Sure, they were hurt, but still ended up almost winning the conference and a top 5 team in the country. Like, expectations were there, and you met them. And our expectations were way lower than this, and you very exceeded them.
This was the one that the tweet that kind of got us going on there was, we tweeted it out, got a lot of interactions off it. A lot of people, Tech fans agreed. Some people didn't agree with it, but we basically just said Baylor did what they were supposed to do this year.
Yeah.
And that was, they started off like number 6 in the country. They replaced NBA players, but you have to do that when you win a national championship. That's what happens when you win a national championship, is you probably have really good players that are going to go play in the NBA.
Yeah,
so he replaced that with future NBA players, and some of the top freshmen in the class. Was number 1 in the country for a while. Like, all of this was things you expected from Baylor this season.
Correct.
And maybe if you didn't as a fan, it's definitely something that they internally expected. It's something that us Tech fans and other Big 12 fans thought of, like, Baylor's probably going to be one of the toughest teams to beat in the country this year. So their mountain that they had to climb was much, much smaller than the one that you had to climb. Like, look at what Mark Adams had to do. He had to replace a whole coaching staff. He had to replace his whole team after Beard left us. Didn't recruit anybody for us, so it's not like we had, top 100 freshmen coming in like Baylor. So we already were starting behind Scott Drew, who's already been at Baylor, already built a culture, already got a recruiting, class going, already has a staff.
And to start your program and tell your coaches how you want to do things, tell your strength guy how you want things to go. Like, all the stuff off the court you got to manage too.
Yeah, all of that, including
for 20 years.
Including expectations after you did just lose the coach who brought you to the heights that you've never seen in basketball. Trying to, replace that. A lot of skepticism throughout the college basketball media, not internally at Tech. I think we all were pretty damn right about this team, expecting us to be good. But the national media completely wrote us off. That's the whole beef we had with Jeff Goodman is he thought we were going to stumble back into where we were before Beard was here, which was irrelevance, and you didn't do that. You ended up competing for the Big 12 championship. You swept Baylor. You almost swept Kansas. You swept Texas. It's just the amount of things that we accomplished this year, and sure, some of those losses down the stretch did not look good, but from where we were on April 1st when Beard left to now is nothing short of incredible.
By far. Totally agree. And then, you just threw it in there, the fact that we beat Baylor twice and at their home court to ruin their streak that they had going on. Like, it's literally, if you don't know how to fill out your ballot, do the head-to-head, be like, well, there's a lot more on the Mark Adams plate, and he beat Scott Drew head-to-head.
And then on top of that, like Scott Drew, and you tweeted this out yesterday, Scott Drew shouldn't even been second place on that ballot.
Oh.
It should have been, the Iowa State coach who took a team that I think hadn't won a conference game in like 2 seasons. And had them undefeated heading into conference play. And sure, their conference record was under 500, but the turnaround that he did at that program,
picked, I think 9th or 10th
last. I'm pretty sure.
Maybe 9th or 10th, and he brought them up to way better than that.
Let's just get into the next part that kind of got some interaction, and that was the Newcomer of the Year award. We had some Iowa State fans come in and chirping at us. We had your friend Corey Hayes chirping at me a little bit on that. What were your thoughts on Bryson Williams losing to Isaiah Brockington on the Newcomer of the Year award?
Yeah, that's the only other one that I get. I mean, kind of aggravates me is Bryson's the first team conference guy, but doesn't get newcomer. Like, that doesn't add up.
Well, to be fair, Brockington was also a first
Was
team.
he? I don't have the list in front of me. And so I guess guys are just taking straight up like, oh, his point average is better and this and that, and didn't have as much around him. I don't know, but I mean, if you just look at what Bryson's done for 2 months in the Big 12, it's ridiculous how good he has been. So, I mean, I'd like to see the ballots for all this stuff, especially the Coach of the Year stuff and who voted for what. I'm not as mad about this one because, Iowa State kid was really good, but splitting hairs, in my opinion. I don't know. I feel like you feel more strongly about it.
Yeah, I was going at it with a couple people there on the Twitter. A lot of people are just throwing the stats, though. He scored more, he did this more, and I didn't think that really tells the whole story. I've always said when it comes to awards, winning is a lot of part of it. You don't give out MVPs to guys who are on losing teams. You don't give out sixth man to a guy who's on a shitty team. Sixth man goes to a guy who is on a really damn good team for the most part. Winning is kind of synonymous with awards. It correlates, right? If you're really good, your team probably won. And so I was pointing out that, Bryson Williams and Texas Tech go 12-6 while Iowa State went 7-11. And they're like, imagine thinking that winning goes to individual stat award or whatever. Well, your individual stat should propel your team to winning more. And Bryson's team goes 12-6 because of him. Without Bryson Williams' consistent double-digit points every night, and being that guy that we can rely on to get you, several buckets when you need to, Texas Tech is not where they are. And same with Iowa State. They are a completely different team if they don't have Brockington. But he's not a point guard, but he's a guard. So the ball's
you're splitting hairs with that. It's literally 3.5 more points.
It's
so I get it close. If you want to give it like the fact that Abaji won. Yeah, he's scoring 20 points a game. That's why he's player of the conference.
Yeah. Also on a team that won.
To 14.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, but I kind of like to look at other numbers too. So let's take this into account. So Brockington shot 46.9 field goal percentage. Bryson Williams shot 54.4 field goal percentage. Brockington shot 77.3 at the free throw line. Bryson Williams shot 78.8 from the free throw line.
Hey, you skipped over. He has a better 3-point percentage.
Well, that's what I was getting to.
Hell yeah.
Yes, and they both take the same amount of attempts per game at three. I looked into this. Well, Brockington shoots 39.2% from three, while Bryson Williams shoots 42.7 from three as a center. So, some of it is the ball's in Brockington's hands a lot more, so he has a lot more opportunities to shoot. So his numbers are going to be inflated. Well, the other thing I wanted to look at was efficiency numbers, because that's another good way of telling, how consistent a guy is. And guess what? Bryson Williams' PER was third in the league at 21.6. Well, Isaiah Brockington was 12th in the league at 21.49. You're not efficient or up to date with what a PER is, player efficiency ratings. That's the measure of how efficient you are on the court during your minutes. So it doesn't take into effect how many minutes you play. It takes into effect how well you play and how much you contribute to your team's success during those minutes. So I think the guy who finished first in the Big 12 was only playing 11 minutes a game or something like that. But during that time, he's contributing a lot. And so it's a very good indicator on how well you're doing in the minutes that you're playing and how well your team's success is on those minutes. And Bryson just kind of kicks his ass in that number. So catch y'all at the next tailgate.